Super Bowl champions.
Swinging a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup. For the lead. Yes!
Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
Yo, dudes, what up?
What's up, fellas?
Welcome back.
Oh, man, I took everything I had to muster that one out of me. What is going on, boys? It's so good to be back. Drunk on Broad, episode, 93?
92.
92.
92. We are 8 away from the century mark.
Wow, the century mark. We're going to have to thank everybody who made this possible. Don, thank you. That's it. Oscar, wherever you are these days. Good for you.
My God.
But we're holding it freaking down. Boys, oh, man. Did you enjoy it? We had the week off last week, so, we didn't really get a chance to do the Thursday night game, but Eagles kicked some ass. I mean, it's just we're rolling, baby. We're just rolling.
I'm to be honest, Rich, I'm tired of hearing the narrative about we played a soft schedule.
Yeah.
You play the teams that are on your schedule.
Yeah, what are you going to do about
it? And the thing that I love about where this team is playing is that they're winning in multiple ways.
Yeah.
Right? They're not winning the same way every time. They're finding different ways to win. So
I'm sorry we won by 12 and didn't cover the spread on Thursday night because 86% of the time the home team covers the fucking spread.
Right.
On Thursday night games. Because here's my issue. Chris, what's up? Adam, what's up, my brother? Here's the problem with Thursday night games. No one goes into a Thursday night game giving it their all. They don't give a shit if they win or lose. Because you just want to escape and be healthy.
Right.
That's it for Thursday night games. You saw our defense come out. We were flat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we still won by 12. Did we think that Houston was going to beat us at all during that? I'm like, no. I mean, I would have been happier with winning by 19 if we can get another score. But winning by 12, winning by 1, I don't give a shit. We won. And we weren't in danger. The people would say, oh, well, the Eagles have one of the easiest schedules. So does Dallas. So does New York.
Right.
But Dallas, oh my God, they're a perennial Super Bowl team. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
But it's America's team, right?
It's America's team. It's America's team. Fuck Texas and fuck the Cowboys.
And listen, they're essentially getting this extra break.
Yeah,
right? They're essentially they had their bye. They come back, they play Pittsburgh, and we can talk about Pittsburgh if we want because we didn't get a chance to touch on that game either because we missed last week. So they play Pittsburgh, and then they turn around and they play on a short week.
Yeah.
On the road.
Dude, I forgot about the Pittsburgh game.
Yeah.
Right? On the road, but they go on the road in Houston and win. And win, it wasn't like a nail biter, right?
Yeah.
It was tied at halftime, but the game was never really in jeopardy.
No.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find where I'm supposed to be doubting this team because they continue to try to win games in different ways.
They're not one-trick ponies this year. Jalen Hurts isn't running for 60 yards a game like he was last year. He's barely running.
It's a different guy every time.
Yeah, so he's giving what the defense. Yo, Jay, what up, brother?
What's up, Jay?
Yeah.
Here's the whole thing. He's, like you said, he's winning in different ways. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Pick which way you want for us to beat you, and we're beating you.
Right.
I don't understand how people are like, what are you going to do? Oh, well, the run defense was bad last week. Nobody was even trying to tackle Dameon Pierce.
It's true.
They were doing everything they could to avoid Dameon Pierce, and they still won.
Right.
So I don't understand, the whole – you go into a Thursday night game, you play kind of hard, but you're not going full force. They still easily handled Houston. Like you said, tied at halftime. No one was afraid that they were going to lose. Yeah, our run defense is going to be a problem without Jordan Davis for the next 4 weeks because we have some good, good running backs coming up that we have to face. I mean, Monday night, right? We got Washington. I'm not worried about Washington because Taylor Heineke is going to get the MVP chance and the Taylor chance when he does something great. And then the next drive, he's going to throw a pick and it's going to cost his team. I'm not worried about them. And I don't like looking down the road because who knows what can happen. Like injuries don't only happen to our team. They happen all over. So So we can't like predict, oh, well, they're going to be going against Derrick Henry. Oh, then they got Aaron Jones and then they got Saquon, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, everybody can play the narrative that our run defense isn't doing as well as it should, but they're stepping up in other areas. CJG is playing amazing.
That dude's fucking
what
incredible.
A steal. What a steal. We fleeced the Saints again with that.
Yeah. And the Saints keep losing.
Yep. Yeah.
So it only makes it better for us.
Top 10, maybe top 5.
The Saints are going back to the Aints, right? But like you look at not just that they fleeced the Saints, right? The Giants letting James Bradbury walk, so they fleeced them, right? The fact that the Titans didn't see the value in being able to work out a contract with AJ Brown, so we're able to steal him, right? Howie Roseman, he's quietly the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
But also like the most decisive guy, right? He turned that one Saints, right? That Saints pick right now sits at what, 6?
Mm-hmm.
Could, if the Saints keep playing the way that they are, it's going to be a top 5.
It should be a top 5 pick.
That's incredible. It's incredible.
By the time the season ends, it should be a top 5 because
for a team that's going to quietly be at the top of this conference and going to have a top 5 pick plus their own pick.
The Saints are getting out coached and they don't have a quarterback. So you can throw Andy Dalton back there. You can throw Jameis Winston. They're the same guy. They're turnover machines. And their defense isn't playing as elite as they have. You shut down Kamara, they have nothing. Baltimore's defense is good, but when I was watching that game, only thing the Saints were doing was shooting himself in the foot. And A.J. Brown is a monster. Yeah. A.J. Brown, good luck anybody in the NFC East trying to stop him. Good luck anybody in the NFC trying to stop him.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody in the NFC that is nearly as complete as the Eagles are. I watched that Washington-Minnesota game. Minnesota should have lost.
Yeah.
Oh, very much so.
And Taylor Heineke literally shot them in the foot. So, is Minnesota like some bulletproof contender? No, they're not a bulletproof contender. You take Justin Jefferson away, they really don't have much.
Look what we did to
him. That's exactly what the Eagles did to him. You take Justin Jefferson away, if you have the corners, you're good. The Packers couldn't beat Detroit.
9 points.
9 points. Like, these teams in the NFC, the Rams? The 49ers? No.
What about Tom? You can never count out Tom.
I can count out them because they are the worst rushing. See, the funny thing is they'll have to pass against the Eagles because they can't run the ball, and they play into our strengths this year. And that's the difference between last year to this year. Their offensive line is absolutely brutal. Fournette looks just way too fat to run the ball.
Yeah. And my thing with this team and where we are, we're 8-0 and this and that, and the Eagles are this and the Eagles are that. Well, we haven't won anything. We haven't won shit yet. And my thing is, everybody wants to talk about the undefeated season, the perfect season, what team, has a chance to knock the Eagles off. I could care less about being having a perfect season, having a perfect record. It's all about being hot at the right time and doing whatever you have to do to solidify home field for a playoff run. Because look at the Patriots. Patriots had a perfect season. They lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you want to see real adversity, how this team reacts to real adversity.
Mm-hmm.
You really need to. They're bound to have a hiccup or two or whatever, but it's about how they respond to it and how this team is sitting, when it comes playoff time. And staying healthy.
Absolutely.
And staying healthy. If
I'm
they get
completely
a major injury at a major position, all of this stuff can change in an instant. So
I am completely content if the Eagles lose a game because I'm a firm believer of you, like Joe, you just said, the adversity part, right? You need to see how you bounce back. And in the playoffs, obviously it's too late to take a loss, but you got to see how congruent your team is and what page they're on. Make sure they don't play the blame game and then just come out firing on all cylinders the next week. Because it's all about that bounce back game. It's either that tough game or that tough loss, and you're like, fuck. All right, what are we made of? What can we do different? Show me next week. I'm fine. I don't really care about, oh my God, a perfect season, because let's be real. If it's in the cards, it's in the cards, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't give you an extra, an extra asterisk in the, oh my God, they were an undefeated team. Yeah, but they lost in the playoffs. Show me a team that is Super Bowl bound and show me that these guys can pick each other up when they need it the most. Yep. That's what I want to see. And I want to see Jalen Hurts respond in a way where if, say, it's a bad loss or say it's just a tough loss and maybe it comes down on him, I want to see him come out angry, pissed off, and be like, no, now we're done playing this soft. Let our defense take over in the second half. No, let's score some fucking points. Let's move the ball, boys.
Yeah.
And Rich, just to speak to that, right? Like where I look at that, where you were just saying about like every week it's a different guy. You cannot key on the same guy, right? So in this Texans game, right? Goddard's got 8 catches for 100 yards, right? Everybody else takes a backseat where they knew that they could take advantage of that guy in that spot, right? But in the week before, when they play the Steelers, right? That you've got other guys making plays. You got like
they're taking what the defense gives them.
Right.
Houston's terrible against tight ends. Pittsburgh was terrible against wide receivers.
Right.
You're doing what you're supposed to do.
Right. So in the game in Pittsburgh, right, it's an A.J. Brown game. 6 catches, 156 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Right. So every week, somebody else is taking advantage of the opportunity, right? So to me, that's scheme. Yeah. Right. That means that the coach, and I think what you're seeing with what's going on in Indianapolis right now is the fact that you're seeing the value that Nick Sirianni brought to that offense in terms of designing plays and designing the offense around the players, because you're seeing how negatively affected they are and how much it's affecting this offense. And let's not be remiss to ignore the fact that like you're seeing what a number 1 wide receiver does for a quarterback.
Yeah.
That one weapon opens up 5 other guys on this offense. So I'm looking at this team and I'm going exactly what you said, Rich. You stop this guy, I'm gonna go this guy. Stop AJ Brown, I'm going right to Devontae Smith. You want to try to stop Devontae Smith? I'm going to AJ Brown. You want to try to stop both of them? I'm going to Dallas Goedert. You want to try to take away the pass game? I'm going to Miles Sanders. I'm going. Like, there are so many places, and you can't cover everybody.
No.
So I'm looking.
And everybody's cool with it because they're winning. Like Devontae Smith came out and said, "I don't care about your fantasy teams." Like
that was fucking awesome.
Like,
I don't give a fuck about your fantasies.
Yeah, we're winning. But that's what you want to see. Like, we're not a team full of divas where, oh, you're not getting me the ball. I want the ball. Like, everybody knows their role. Like, I'll have my week. I'm not worried about my stats this year because we're not a losing team. This is what good teams, this is what happens. Everybody thinks that, oh, just because you're a good team, you're going to have every single wide receiver go for 100 yards, have 10 catches, everybody scores. Yeah, in an ideal world, that would be fantastic. But again, we're not playing Madden on easy.
Yeah.
You take what the defense gives you. If you know a team like Houston is terrible against tight ends, you pepper the tight ends. You get the ball out quick. You hit Dallas Goedert. You go to the flats. That's what you do. You know Pittsburgh has one of the worst secondaries in the league. What do? You attack their secondary.
Right.
Yep.
Okay? You go against a team coming up in the Cowboys. Trayvon Diggs, you beat him deep. You know how to beat these teams. And that's what they're doing. They're watching the tape. It shows because their game plan is changing. It's never, like you said, it's never the same thing. And I think that's the evolution of Sirianni. The evolution of Sirianni is it's almost Belichick-esque in a sense where I don't have to be this redundant coach of, okay, we're running this offense. We need to feed A.J. Brown. And like in an ideal world, yes. No, you take what the defense gives you. You find their weak points. Okay. Weak corners, we attack wide receivers. Weak linebacking core, weak nickel, we attack tight end. Bad defensive line, strong offensive line, we go with the run. This is what we do. And it's just that evolution and that step forward is what we wanted to see from Sirianni, and I am enjoying it. People can say, well, the teams are bad. Yeah, 90% of the NFL right now is bad.
The product on the field where the NFL wants parity and they want everybody to kind of be all on a level playing field, you're kind of seeing the negative part about that.
Yeah.
It's great when a lot of the teams are really good and the play on the field is really good. But what you're seeing right now is that like there's a lot of mediocre to bad football happening on a weekly basis.
Look at the fucking Titans.
Look no further than Thursday Night Football. The lineup on Thursday Night Football.
I have it on in the background, and I don't even know what's going on.
All season long, the lineup on Thursday Night Football has been terrible.
Yeah. And the production value of Amazon is terrible. Like, they're never going to sponsor us, so I don't care. But the production value of these Thursday night games are just atrocious.
Bezos is going to have to put another couple $1 billion into that.
Like, you need to figure it out. But look at these teams, right? What is the common denominator of what they don't have? Tennessee. Green Bay.
Yep.
They don't have a top wide receiver.
No.
Look at Patrick Mahomes is making it work with Juju and Kelsey, but do you think he doesn't miss Tyreek Hill?
Oh my God.
No, but you saw how they were able to even integrate Kadarius Toney into that offense and figure out a way to make it work, like put him in positions to be successful.
Yeah.
Andy Reid has done that for his entire career.
But it's the fact that if you look what we have, and then I watch Titans game when you watch a team, or you watch Green Bay when they don't have wide receivers, right? They have a bunch of young guys and fucking Sammy Watkins. Aaron Rodgers looks terrible.
Yep.
Right? Because he doesn't have Devontae Adams bailing him out. Tennessee, Malik Willis hasn't thrown over like 80 yards in a start.
0. Did you see that stat? His last game?
It was like, what, 8 for –
no completions to a wide receiver.
Oh, yeah.
0.
Not surprised.
I don't even know who's on the team. So.
Do you think that there's you need a wide receiver in the NFL? And a lot of teams are saying, well, fuck this. I'm not paying these guys a lot of money. You have to. Look at the teams that are bad, and you look at their quarterback play, and then you can say, man, it'd be nice if they had a number one, but they all let their number ones walk. This is what happens. It's either the good quarterbacks don't have a good wide receiver, or bad quarterbacks like Derek Carr have great wide receivers,
right?
But then they can't win games. And then you give Jalen Hurts, who's an upcoming quarterback, trying to figure out what he is, facing one of the biggest years of his life in his football career. Will he get a bigger contract? Is he our guy going forward? You give him a guy like A.J. Brown, and you see, holy fuck, it's so much easier to play football and to win ball games when you have a number one weapon.
Yeah. I mean, look at how many drives that he's been able to extend just getting A.J. Brown the ball.
He's uncoverable, and he's the kind of guy that will rise to the occasion in any situation, whether it's a regular season game, a playoff game. He wants the ball all the time.
Joe, talk about him in that Pittsburgh game. Because him in that Pittsburgh game was
insane.
I was working during that game, and I could hear, I heard when good things were happening because I could hear the crowd roar before I would get the update on my phone. But, it's like they went to him early. They went to him often. I mean, they rolled coverage to him after, I think it was after his first touchdown. But it didn't matter because he could track a ball like nobody else. He can body guys like nobody else. that one touchdown that he caught, to at least 2 of his touchdowns, there were guys right there.
Yeah,
Like,
Minka Patrick. He said, "Give me that fucking ball."
He knows how to have the perfect body control, and he knows his surroundings like no other, where he's going to go and get that ball, and nobody else is going to get it.
And I think you saw him basically put everybody on notice, right? That third touchdown when he looks at him, he's going, "You can't cover me. You can't cover me. You can't cover me. Nobody cover me. I'm gonna," and basically sell like, you put whoever you want. Find a guy. Find your best guy.
Right. And we have.
I'm gonna be in a position to beat you every single time.
Right. T.O. He is the
Is he better than T.O.?
He's a new young T.O. And
yeah,
he's as good, if not better. I'll say it right now. He's everything we dreamed of in a wide receiver. This team always missed, always draft wrong. They would never, shell out the money for the big name ticket. But look what happens when you do that. When you make a trade and you pay a guy and he backs it up and he's worth every penny and then some, because you can rely on him in any game, in any situation. He's gonna rise to the occasion no matter what. You cannot cover this guy.
No.
He's shown signs and plays of being like Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, he's had those moments.
I'll go there too. I mean, he's not physically, he might be a little bit shorter, but he'll body you and he'll make you look bad, because that's just the kind of game he plays. And man, I'm so
I think he's also putting himself on notice with he's had two plays in the last 2 games against the Texans and the Steelers where he got caught from behind.
Yeah.
And I think he's kind of putting himself on notice to be like, I'm gonna get one where I can break away and I can shut everybody the hell up.
That one, he got him by the foot. He was gone too. He was gone. Got him.
And I love how the players on the sidelines are giving him crap about it.
Yep.
And it's all in good fun.
Yeah.
Where they're like, you got caught from behind, I'm faster than you. Like all that sideline stuff, man. It just speaks to the team, right? And how much this is truly a team.
Yep.
Rather than a bunch of guys that are playing well.
Yeah. And I had to hear it again from my cousin, the Titans fan, because obviously that was the game of the week last week on Thursday, and he's just like, man, he's like, I cringe. He's like, I still can't believe, he's like, I still can't believe it. I don't even like to talk to him about it because he gets so bad out of shape. I'm like, man, thank you so much.
How's Treylon Burks?
Yeah, how's he treated?
How's Treylon Burks? I thought he was AJ Brown Jr. Oh, he's hurt. Okay, he's coming back this week. Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, looking ahead, right? They got Washington coming in on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
We thought that this week game was going to be, the return of Wentz. He didn't even make it to this game.
I called it 6 weeks.
You did.
I called it. He would last 6 weeks via injury or being benched. And now it's injury benched because he's not getting that job back.
Now, my question is, does he even make the trip?
No, he's on IR. He wasn't at the game last week. He's not going to be. No.
Why not? He hurt his finger. He can't stand on the sideline.
Him and Ben Simmons are going to make
be a good team player and hold the clipboard and help Heineke, call some plays. No, he's not going to show up. Come on.
Joe, did you hear about my idea for a 30 for 30?
No, I think I missed it. What you got?
It's the saga of Ben Simmons and Carson Wentz.
Oh, dude.
The title? The False Messiahs.
30 for 30. What if I told you?
Have you been in contact with ESPN yet?
Yeah. What if I told you?
Dude, every Philadelphian, everyone, more than Philadelphia, but everybody that is a Philadelphia fan will be like, I gotta watch this. I gotta see this.
and literally those two guys were generational guys when they came in, showed glimpses of talent, and then literally just imploded.
Fell
on
off a
each other.
cliff. Yeah.
But and so Monday night, obviously we're all kind of leaning Birds for the next couple weeks at least.
24-10.
Okay.
And it's going to be another one of those games, just coasting through the second half. Just coasting through. Heineke's going to throw 3 picks, do what Taylor does. I don't see, okay, Chase Young comes back for them. That's fantastic.
Okay.
Whoop-de-doo. I don't see that's the only good thing for Washington that they have coming back for him. I don't see that.
The biggest key, Rich, is what the Eagles have that other teams that had success in the past that aren't having now, right? Is that stability on the offensive line.
They traded their best corner. Washington did.
Yeah.
So I don't see, barring a monumental collapse, I don't see them. I don't even see it being close. I really don't. It's one of those games where I'm looking at, I'm like, fuck, it's Monday night. Like, damn it, just make it. This is definitely a Sunday 1:00 type of game because you watch it and you're like, yeah, they're going to handle business. Because it's going to be one of them games you stay up Monday night and you're like, oh shit, the Eagles are up 17-3 at half. What's going to happen? And it's like, yeah, you kind of know what's going to happen. It's just, I just don't. Washington's a terrible team. They're a terrible team. It's a terrible organization. Now they have more shit over their head with the prosecutor coming out saying, all right, I'm going after Daniel Snyder and Roger Goodell in the NFL today, which I thought was fucking strange for a assistant general saying that. But now you got more negative shit over their head. This isn't a team that responds well to adversity, the Washington Commanders. So I just don't see it being close. I'm not even worried about it. It's just one of those games where I'm like, this is definitely one of those. Yeah, I want to watch early Sunday in the afternoon. It'll be over by 4. Get about the day. Now it's like, fuck. The Commanders on Monday Night Football. I'm like, give me somebody else on Monday Night Football. Eagles with somebody else. I wish they could just flex teams in and out. It's just like, yeah, we're going to flip the schedule. Giants, you're going to play the Eagles on Monday night because that'll be more entertaining, and Washington will go play whoever you're fucking playing. It's just some of these teams are just bad.
It's bad. It's bad, and I was kind of thinking the same thing. Like 30, like I was even thinking like 30, like 35, like 35-10, 35, something like that, 35-14.
Unless if Heineke throws like 2 pick sixes, I could see that. The Eagles, what they do is don't score in the second half unless they have to.
Yeah, like I could see a situation, right, where they score early, right, and then they score a couple of times in the second quarter. Maybe they get a pick six and put up 21 points, and then they're coasting in the second half, and they just let Miles Sanders just run and just eat the clock and just kind of burn the clock away.
If Kirk Cousins was a good quarterback, they should have won by at least 17 points. And he's
I believe it.
But Washington's defense did look different with Chase Young.
Definitely did.
But at the same time, Minnesota doesn't have the best offensive line. They couldn't get the run game going. You're going to see a lot of different blitz packages because the secondary of Washington is terrible. They don't have, I think it was Willie Jackson who they traded to Pittsburgh, who was their best corner. I don't think their running game has been absolutely terrible. Brian Robinson, great story after getting shot, coming back. He's been abysmal. They forgot about Antonio Gibson again last week. What are you going to do? You're going to have Heineke throw the ball 50 times? That's not a recipe for success.
we only find a way to not win this game if it's our own fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a turnover-filled game. Somebody gets hurt, something like that. That's really the only way that this game can get out of hand or wind up being a loss. But there's just too many ways for this team to hit you.
Yep.
We're the most well-rounded team in the league. And then I don't know what the latest news is with Josh Allen. I think it's bad, and I think they're just kind of not saying anything.
Yeah, he's definitely not playing this week.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But Joe, I think you could say that about the rest of their schedule, right? A lot of the next handful of games, they're going to be the favorite in those games. They're going to be they're very, very winnable games considering how those teams are playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And to look ahead, and we'll talk about the Colts game next week. But like, Christ, they brought Jeff Saturday off a high school field to be the interim head coach, and in the press conference, he didn't realize until the press conference when they asked him who was going to call the plays that he didn't realize that no one on his staff has ever called an offensive play in the NFL before. Like I look at like but those following games, right? The Packers Titans games, those games are gonna like the Packers. The way that they're playing don't scare me. The Titans game could be a game that is going to really challenge them in terms of Derrick Henry.
Right.
I think Derrick Henry is a guy that could give them.
Derrick Henry doesn't run for 230.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. If they turn around and hand the ball off to Derrick Henry 40 times,
you know what you do in that case? If I'm fucking Jonathan Gannon, you stack the box and be like, Malik Willis, I dare you.
That is another reason where, and another scenario where this, it could backfire, blow up in our face. If he doesn't, sometimes he's got a big time issue with in-game adjusting to stuff like that.
Oh, like against Tampa.
When you see, Seth Joyner brought this up the other day. When you see pre-game snap or pre-play snap, how these guys are going to line up, and they're going to run the ball, and he's playing nickel defense. Like, you can't do that against a guy like Derrick Henry because you're going to get gashed all game.
Talent is outweighing Jonathan Gannon's coaching abilities.
Right, and
I'm telling you, and I have a feeling that is exactly what it is.
Yeah, we don't like to tackle from time to time, and this is he's the kind of player that nobody really wants to tackle him, but they got to have the right game plan. They got to get ready because it's going to be a physical game. So you better put your head down and tackle this guy. So
is that 3 weeks from now?
December 4th.
Yes.
Okay. So we should realistically have Jordan Davis back for that game.
Correct.
He'll be out 4 weeks. They said it was high ankle, but not severe.
Right. If I had to guess, December 4th is probably the game that he comes back.
And that would help a lot.
Absolutely.
And it's a home game. It's a game. They're playing Tennessee at home. Right. But if I'm looking ahead at the schedule, right, that's where I'm kind of like that's the first place where I see anything. But I want to bring back up something that Adam brought up. Because there's a little bit of a sports universe kind of omen here. Do you remember the last time that the Eagles had the number 1 seed in 2017? And they go on to win the Super Bowl.
I remember that.
Right? Do you remember who won the World Series that year?
The Phillies. No, I'm just kidding. Houston Astros.
Correct. Is there a little bit of sports omen in there?
I don't know, man. I'm just really sad about the Phillies still. So
yeah,
talk about it.
Oh, I don't want to talk about it either.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
maybe
next year. Rich, sounds like a perfect place to segue.
Losing sucks.
to talk to our. We can let our friends over at Losing Sucks give us some fantasy advice and tell us that losing sucks.
I know that.
Drunk on Broad. What's up, boys? It's Travis from Losing Sucks Fantasy Football Podcast. Week 10 is here, 9 weeks in the books, bringing you a little bit of fantasy impact and implications from what we just saw. Starting at the top, Austin Eckler, 26.1 points per game over the last 5 weeks. My God. CMC is the only position player that I would take over Austin Eckler at this point for the rest of the season. Number 2, Amon-Ra St. Brown has not been producing, but the volume is there. Trust the volume. This is a common theme of Losing Sucks philosophy. Where there is volume, there will be points. You have to be patient. He is still a buy low candidate. Once he has that 25, 30-point week that will be coming, that buy window is closed. So hang on if you have him. Keep trying to buy him if you can. TJ Hawkinson debuts for the Minnesota Vikings and looks great. Double-digit targets. It's always good when TJ Hawkinson is rolling. Fantasy football, he's been a darling of everybody's for a long time. He is our tight end 5 the rest of the season. You've got Kelsey, Andrews, Goddard, and George Kittle. Those are only 4 guys that I think I would take over Hawkinson right now, which is a big jump. It's a confidence level jump for Hawkinson. The volume is going to continue to be good. Kirk Cousins loves the tight end. They've been trying to find somebody that can fit that role for a while now. Hawkinson seems to be the guy. Joe Mixon goes absolutely bonkers for a top 20 fantasy performance of all time. I hope you were on the right side of that. If you were not, you probably lost. But yeah, much like Amon-Ra St. Brown, we emphasized over the last 3 weeks about Joe Mixon. Constantly follow the volume. Finally, the big payoff. Top 3 in NFL in touches before last week. He remains there. Don't sell just because he had a big day. A lot of people want to say, this is peak value. Let's move him. You don't need to do that. This is somebody that you want on your team down the stretch and in the playoffs. He's going to continue to produce. Not at that level, obviously, but he'll be a top 10 guy week in and week out. The Las Vegas Raiders got up 17 on Jacksonville and still found a way to lose. Travis Etienne is that dude. With 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, he looks like he's playing at a different speed than everybody else on the field. And it took a little while to get going, but my God, is he fun to watch. Devontae Adams with a big day. Everyone else on that offense was pretty mediocre. I don't know what's going on in Vegas. They can't seem to find a way to win, even when it looks like they were gifted a win. You would say after a quarter and a half, this one's over, but they do not have that killer instinct, whatever you want to call it, to finish games. They don't have it. Kyler Murray remains incredibly frustrating to watch, but he is still QB6 on the season. If you have Kyler Murray, just close your eyes or watch a different football game until his is over, and you'll probably be fine with the points that he gives you. We're still waiting on that 30-point day from him. It's got to come at some point. That's what he does, but you just can't watch it. You really can't. Finally, last 2 things. What did we learn? First, we learned that Cordarrelle Patterson is still legit. Let's discuss. Patterson, points per game, 14.9 on the season. Dameon Pierce, 14. Miles Sanders, 13.9. Leonard Fournette, 13.7. That's the group of guys that his name should be with. He continually gets disrespected. I don't know why. We have finally come around to say, put some respect on his name. He is who he is, and it's not going away. So for that group, we've got Dameon Pierce first, Patterson second, Miles Sanders third, and Leonard Fournette fourth in that group, at least for the rest of the season. Put some respect on Patterson's name. Finally, Allen Lazard is and will be the number 1 receiver in Green Bay, with Romeo Doubs getting hurt and Lazard continuing to be consistent. I don't know if you can buy him for cheap, but I think he's worth whatever fair price you would pay. If you're deep enough at running back, Lazard is a great guy that you're going to want down the stretch. 12.5 points per game in comparison to some bigger names that people, for whatever reason, like more than Lazard. Olave, 11.9. Ayuk, 11.5. Pittman, 10.8. He's been better than those guys. We expect him to continue to be better than those guys. That'll do it for the rundown. Week 10 is coming. Good luck. As always, you can DM us any kind of questions that you have. If you just want to talk fantasy football, maybe talk some trades before the deadline, we're here for you. Thanks for having us on. Drunk on Broad. Go Birds. Stay undefeated.
I wish we were drunk on Braun. We're just not that strong. We're just not.
More like drunk on Brawny.
I traded Joe Mixon to Nick before, last week, and then I played against him. If Joe Mixon got 30, I would win. But no, he decided to get 60 against me. And it hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt bad.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I was like, man, fuck Joe Mixon. I'm like, dude did nothing for me. And now I got Cordarrelle Patterson playing tonight, and Algier just ran three times in a row. I'm like, well, it's the year I'm having, so there's always next year.
Well, Rich, we got a T-shirt for that, right? There's always next season.
There's always next season. I'm just going to cry and just act like everything's good.
Yeah, listen, I had to DM them today I got Josh Allen in one of my leagues, so I'm like, all right, I gotta pick up somebody. End up picking up Trevor Lawrence, which is like not ideal, but like obviously better than nothing.
I picked up Daniel Jones. I feel you.
Hell, I got Daniel Jones in one of my leagues. I
Ugh.
thought I had something when I picked up Stafford in that draft, and that's been a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. I picked up Justin Fields.
In that league, I'm starting Geno Smith.
I
Who
love
would have ever thought I'd be starting Geno Smith over Matt Stafford? But Geno Smith gets me probably mid-20s every week.
Yeah, you have to. I'm playing Justin Fields over Jalen Hurts this week.
Hey.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did hear somebody talking about Fields.
I'm
buying low on Fields right now.
I'm going on the rushing alone, man. Like, it's one of those things. He's been putting up numbers. Jalen Hurts has been consistent, but he hasn't had that boom week that we thought we were going to get. Like, he's consistent 23, 25 points. Like, it's not going to kill you, but it's also not going to it's not going to win it for you. Like, he's not having those Josh Allen, okay, Josh Allen doesn't throw for a touchdown, puts up 200 yards, but then rushes for 3 rushing touchdowns. So he's still getting his points. He's getting it done. But in the second half, it's like, here's what happens with Jalen Hurts, what I love. He gets me 25 points at halftime in fantasy. And I'm like, hoping he gets me 35. I'm like, can you get me 10 more? Give me one more touchdown. It'll go from 25 to 26.3. And I'm like, motherfucker. Because they're not losing. They're not trailing. No. And even when they're trailing, it's like, okay, he gets his touchdown, but he's not rushing as much. Justin Fields has the opportunity to either get you -6 or 80.
Rich, in the one league that I'm in, he has the 11th most points overall.
Yeah.
Over any player, right? And he started the year on a really funky spot where we're like, who the fuck knows what Justin Fields is?
Yeah.
Right. But now we're seeing, right, he's got in the one league, right, Josh Allen is leading this league that I'm in and has 261 points.
Yeah.
But Justin Fields is number 11. He's got 191.
Yeah. No slap.
Like you cannot argue with the point value at that point. And talk about buy low, right? That's a guy that you could have bought insanely low on and get a ton of value from, right? And I even heard somebody talking about they picked up Justin Fields and then flipped. Who'd they have? I think they had Mahomes. They flipped Mahomes for 2 other guys that they can then slot into the starting lineup. And they're still getting similar production from Justin Fields that they were getting from Patrick Mahomes.
I'm looking to trade Jalen Hurts in my one league because he's consistent. Guys need quarterbacks, and I need a wide receiver, a different piece. It's one of those things where it's pieces. I love Jalen Hurts to death. I do. But he's winning. He's helping our football team. But my God, he's not helping my fantasy team. He's not hurting it either. He's just not helping it. But again, he doesn't care. I don't care. Birds win. I'm happy. I'll take a Super Bowl victory or, just a trip to the big dance over a fantasy championship any day. So let's go, Birds.
Go, Bird.
Yeah. Huh. Any other thoughts, fellas, before we jump out?
What's our play of the game? We didn't talk about our play.
Play of the game.
We've been pretty good with these. Not gonna lie, we've been pretty good.
Listen, if you have not been paying attention to our plays of the game, we have really kind of hit the nose. Rich, what was the one that you had in the Pittsburgh game? Because we had texted right after the Pittsburgh game.
You told me. Hold on. Let me go look at it.
Because you had it, and it was our scores were
our scores were insane.
It was Joe.
Yeah.
Rich and I scores were literally within 1 or 2 points.
He said, all right, minus the dumb penalty by BG on the goal line that led to the TD, it would have definitely been all field goals because I said it was going to be an all field goal game. So I had 33-12 and Don had 35-14. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah. I literally said, I don't think Pittsburgh's going to score an offensive touchdown, which they honestly shouldn't have. They really shouldn't have.
Yeah.
If BG doesn't get that stupid ass penalty, on the field goal, it's all field goals.
All field goals.
It's just wow.
We've been doing well.
We've been pretty good with these.
The Bradbury interception, the Gardner the Gardner Johnson interceptions, Jason with the bomb from AJ Brown was off by like 4. Joe, you were off by like 4 yards.
Yeah.
Like
you guys
we're
get
doing all right
on your sports betting too. If you guys are getting so close with these scores and what's going on there during the game, you got to
no, my sports betting is
see all your bets so I can duplicate them.
I wish.
I'm gonna leave that up to the professionals.
Yeah.
What do I want? What do I got here? I'm gonna say we're gonna go Miles Sanders goes $120 and 2 tutties.
Okay. Joe, what do you got?
I mean, every week I want to say AJ Brown just because
say it.
It's bound to happen, but I'm gonna go Devonta Smith. 114 yards and a touchdown, 8 catches. And he's got a long one in the third quarter. 65-yarder.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. I was right there with you. I'm saying 4 catches for 119 yards and a touchdown. It's going to be a big play right at the start of the third quarter. And it's just going to bury them. And then they're going to end the game with a Heineke dropping back, looking to throw, gets hit, boom. TJ Edwards picks it off, seals it.
Nice.
It's going to be a beautiful thing.
27-14 Birds.
Nice.
What did I say? 24-10? 24-10?
24-10.
Yeah.
I'm going 35-14 maybe.
Okay.
Doesn't get better than that, boys.
No.
Doesn't get better than that.
There we go. Listen, before we roll into, I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine. Right, we got Rich. You were talking about your lovely custom Eagles Fly mug that your friend made on. Right, I got a friend who's from a former right when I used to bartend at Union Jackson Glenside. My friend Nadia, she is making these custom retro Eagles sweatshirts and hoodies. And I'm gonna put the link in all the show descriptions. But she's doing these custom Eagles sweatshirts. She did one for me. The hoodie that I'm wearing right now. It's got the Eagles, the old Eagles logo on the front. Got the Philadelphia down the sleeve. She also did some stuff with the Phillies. So some dancing on your own. She did it in a bunch of different colors, white, black. So, if you're looking for some other Eagles, stuff here, I'll put her stuff in there. You can go check her stuff out. Just some cool stuff to kind of put off, but it looks. I got it done on my own sweatshirt.
It's a nice shirt.
I gave her the sweatshirt.
That's a nice shirt
on the sleeve.
Yeah,
and it's just clean. It's just nice and clean. There's not a whole ton of stuff on it.
It just jumps out at you.
Yeah, man, it's cool. So just want to give her a shout out. She's doing it from her living room on the cricket machine. So just try to help out the little guy.
Hell yes.
Awesome.
Rich, what do you got? You want to jump off on final thoughts?
Oh man, final thoughts. Rough. Now, so I was thinking about this today because I'm like, man, I got to figure out my final thoughts. So my buddy Kyle ended up painting my cabinets in my kitchen and doing the work. Great dude. When he was younger, we used to bully the fuck out of him. Like, I mean, relentlessly. Not because we didn't like him. It's just because it was Kyle. And toughen him up a little bit. His dad's straight South Philly Irish, knew my pops like from back in the day. My dad's older than his dad, but all good people. And it's like, man, knew Kyle, was kind of mean to him. And I told him the one day, he's like, yeah, we had a conversation about a guy. I was like, oh yeah, he wants me to like come over so I can punch him in the face. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to apologize for how I was to you. I'm just not going to do that because you turned out fantastic. And without me realizing how much of a dick I was, I probably wouldn't have changed or have been teaching my son like valuable lessons. And I think that's what like people got to realize. Sometimes the people who hurt you, you're not going to get that apology, but you're going to see them change and you're going to see them bestow their knowledge of being a dickhead. Like I cringe when I see people being mean. I cringe when I see kids being mean to other kids. I cringe when I'm reffing sports and kids are just going out and trying to hurt other kids. Because I was that guy. Like I was a fucking menace on the basketball court. I would take your head off. Like I should have been playing in the 80s in basketball as a child because hard fouls were how I made my living because I really wasn't that good. So I needed to make it enjoyable for me. But I'm teaching my son valuable lessons on being, including every kid. I ask him every day, hey, man, who'd you play with? And then I know the other kids in his class. I'm like, hey, man, did you play with Tommy? Did you play with Caleb? Did you play with Bryn too, besides your two normal friends? And he goes, yeah, I play with them. I'm like, good. I'm like, you find a kid who doesn't have a friend, be his friend.
Yeah.
I'm like, because everybody needs a friend.
That's huge.
I'm like, don't be the mean kid. And my 2 words of advice to him are always be kind and don't be the stinky kid. And I'm like, and other than that, I don't really give a fuck what you do in life. Just be kind. And that comes from me not being kind. So I will never say I'm apologizing for who I was because I can't do that. And I honestly, I don't want to because I can't change the past. I can only change the future, and I can try to make my son understand that, hey, being a dick gets you nowhere, and you might think it's cool at the time, but you're hurting somebody else's feelings, and it doesn't feel good. So instead of, and I told him all that, and he's like, dude, it's cool. I'm like, it might have not been. I'm like, I know it's not cool. And I'm like, I should have been way nicer to you. But I'm like, I guarantee my son will never be like that because I'll be the first person to put my foot in his ass. And I won't let that happen to somebody else because it's just not fair. Like the way I treated some people, it's just not fair. I thought it was funny at the time. It wasn't. It was just downright mean. But I'm not the same person anymore. And I'll make sure that shit dies with me at age 18, 19, 20. So that's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, Rich, you learn from the mistakes.
Yeah.
Right?
And if you don't learn, then that's your own fault. And then you'll never grow. And then good luck trying to be a normal human being because it doesn't work. It's all about self-growth. That's my fun.
Joe, what do you got?
Well, Rich kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. The whole thing with the Washington football team, and now they've got the DA involved, where they're really just hoping to bring down Daniel Snyder, and I guess somehow Goodell might be tied into this, and the league might be tied into this. But it's put yourself. We're Eagles fans, we're diehard Eagles fans, but put yourself in the shoes of being a diehard Washington fan, and having to see this organization and seeing Daniel Snyder be the face of this team for so many years, and they can't, they can't be a good team. They can't get past or be a successful team or be a good team or get anywhere with this kind of situation hanging over their heads, for so long. And at this point, hopefully we're at a point where something is actually going to come to this and he's going to be removed.
Yeah. Agreed. It's so fucked, man.
It's so screwed. It's such there's so many bad things going on with that team and Snyder and that organization that would just get pushed under the rug or, would just get brushed aside. But now it seems like they're actually something's actually going to happen now.
Yeah. Good.
Very cool. Well, gentlemen, I saw something earlier this week that made me smile because I'm already thinking ahead to the holiday season. And I saw that Jason Kelsey Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata are partnering with Charlie Hall from War on Drugs, right? From the band War on Drugs to put out a 7-song Christmas album called A Philly Special Christmas.
This is going to be insane. I can't wait.
It made me smile, right? It just put me in like a good place where I'm like, you know what? Like you can start looking ahead to like really thinking about the holiday season and really thinking about what's important. And I love that they were able to put this together. Yeah. I'm excited to hear it. Jordan Mailata's got the voice of an angel.
He does.
So I'm
songbird of our generation.
But I love everything that Jason Kelce is. I love that he essentially is like the unwritten mayor of Philadelphia. He's the governor of Philadelphia sports. The whole interaction with him and the Phillies and the Philly fanatic on throughout that Phillies run and how it just put me in such a great mood. So like I'm excited when that stuff comes out, trying to think about all the stuff that brings us good and positive joy. So just looking forward to that. Looking forward to the game for the Eagles game over the weekend. I got something that we're going to give away.
Ooh. So
normally for the Eagles games, I'll normally put a poll up.
Yeah.
About like who's going to be most impactful, who's going to, whatever.
Yeah.
So I decided to do something different because I ran across these when I was out just kind of shopping and doing a bunch of random stuff. I came across these door hangers that are only Eagles fans can enter.
I like it.
So these door hangers, I got 5 of them. We're going to give away over the next course of the next couple weeks.
Nice.
So instead of putting out a fan poll, I'm going to put out a post on game day. You put a GIF of the guy that you think is going to be the player of the game. Simple as that. Whoever puts a GIF in of the guy who's the player of the game, I'm gonna reach out, get your address, we'll mail it out to you, and you can put this in your home, your fan cave, your man cave, whatever you want to put in, and cheer on your birds.
I love it.
Stuff done.
I got to get my burner accounts out to win one of those bad boys. Me and KD are going to be hitting that thing up hard. Oh, man.
Oh, I love it. Gentlemen, it's been real. It's been fun. Rich, take us home.
Hey, man, you stuck around, you fucked around, and you found out. Fuck Ben Simmons. Fuck Davion Taylor. Fuck Jeremy Pena, that piece of shit fucking rookie motherfucker who killed us this whole goddamn World Series. Fuck the Houston Astros. Fuck Dusty Baker, that old fuck. Fuck Yordan Alvarez, that big motherfucking 6'5" home run hitting machine. I think he's like 6'9". And fuck Spike S, because that's just what we do and what we do here.
Fucking feet.
Yeah, high 500 fucking feet. You better hit the ball that
with that court bat.
Yeah, fuck him. And then fuck Frambar for fucking Frambler grabbing his head, licking his fingers. Fuck him.
Gloves.
Gloves.
Oh, geez, I'm over these guys. Fuck them. We are Drunk on Broad. That's Joe. That's Don. I'm Rich. Join us next week. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.